All right, so today let's talk about adding to winners and cutting losers. This is a fundamental investing principle that is true in the stock market, the crypto market, any market where you're betting on an asset, a team, a community, a business, getting adoption and sort of taking over an industry. This is where this concept applies. So as a general rule of thumb, the goal is to add to your positions which are winning and to cut your losers. Or in another way, it's adding to your positions that are outperforming and cutting the positions which are underperforming. And it's a bit of a nuanced topic because sometimes in markets, let's say AI outperforms for a month and then it goes shit, and then gaming outperforms for a month. So if you sell your gaming coins for the AI ones when the AI is booming, it would be like, oh, that's a bit weird. Like now the AI is underperforming and gaming's performing well. So you have to be careful that you're not implementing a incorrect approach to this sort of mindset of, adding to your winners and cutting your losers. And we'll cover this a little bit in this section of the course. So here's just some points to consider about understanding this mindset. The best investors tend to be dead people. A bit of a strange point to make, but this is very true. There's a bunch of articles about this online. Why dead people make the best investors? Some of the market's worst days are often followed by its best, so inactivity is key. If you're dead, you can't sell the bottom, is basically what they said, right? The best days in the market often follow the worst days. We just sort of went over that. Dead investors aren't prone to cognitive bias. Again, same sort of concept. They're not going to sell the bottom. Also, when you're dead, you don't sell because you think the recession's going to hit or any of that bullshit. You just tend to, when you're dead, you hold, and your basic assumption is that things are always going to get better because you can't sell, right? Because you're dead. So that's a funny thing in markets where the people who actually make the most money tend to actually do nothing. And it's sort of related to this point because a lot of people the reason this relates to this topic is because adding to a winner is very similar to the concept of letting your winners run. And that's a second point that I guess I could add here. It's let your winners run. And that's what dead people do really well because they obviously can't sell because they're dead. They're very good at letting the positions that they hold run and play out. And if you look at, we'll do some little bit of a chart stuff. If you look at any of the big if you look at any of the major tech companies, you can basically see that over, it's already the monthly. You can basically see that they're only up for decades with 1 to 2 year pullbacks. And you look 1 to 2 years up, 1 to 2 years up. And in stock market especially, you need to add to your winners and cut your losers. So Apple, you just continually compound your winner, which is Apple, and you can see it paid off massively because we'll cover that in the second point here. The rich tend to get richer and the poor tend to get poorer. And this is related back to adding to winners and cutting losers because in life, like in markets, the positions that win tend to keep winning and the positions that lose tend to keep losing. The poor people tend to get poorer and the rich people tend to get richer because poor people don't know how to make money and rich people do. And when you know how to make money, it becomes very easy to make more of it because, like they say, the first million that you make is the hardest million. And then every million after your first one becomes easier. And I've actually experienced this firsthand. I made my first million. It took me like 5 years it took me 4 years of trying. And I made my first million. And my second million came within a year after the first million. So, it's interesting, right? You make once you've done the first million, you're like, oh, that wasn't too hard. And then every following million becomes easier. So if you're rich, it's very easy to make more money. If you're poor, it's very hard to make money because you don't know how to make money. And also generally, some people in life just tend to win at everything. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger became like one of the biggest fucking dudes in the world in the gym. Became one of the most famous people as a acting movie star. Became a I think he was the what's the word for it? But he was basically the leader of California, I think, at one point, the governor or some shit, right? Whatever he decided to do, he became the best at. And in life, you want to bet on people who just become good at everything, right? So in markets, you want to find the projects and add to the projects that are winning in your portfolio, because it's very likely that if the coin's winning, it's a reflection of a winning team. And winning teams are just a group of people who just win at everything in life. And what do we say here? The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Winners keep winning and losers keep losing in life and in markets, right? And this is why when I hire people in my business, this is related as well. I always filter for how many things that person has become top 1% at in life. Because if someone's 35 years old and they haven't become really good at anything, then they're just sort of a waste of a human. They're just an NPC existing, never becoming good at anything, basically just fucking useless. Like, they didn't become good at anything. They're just floating through life, never really caring that they've never become good. They've never won at anything and they don't really care. They're just happy being mediocre. Those are not people you want to hire if you're wanting to build a really big, good company, because the extent that your company goes comes down to the work ethic and the standard that your employees hold themselves to. And if you're hiring people who have never cared about how good they are at anything they try to do, why do you think they're suddenly going to be caring about what they do in your company? They're not. They're fucking losers, right? And you need to cut your losers. So fire the staff that have never become good at anything because they're fucking losers. And you need to add the winners to your team. So this is why hiring high school or university athletes is actually a really good idea in companies where the skills can be learned relatively fast. Obviously, you don't want to hire a fucking full-time engineer that doesn't know how to do engineering just because he was an athlete. But if you are looking to hire, for example, someone for a sales-related role, hiring an ex-athlete is actually a great idea because it shows that they've applied themselves to becoming and achieving excellence in a certain domain of human endeavor. And if you hire them in your company and you motivate them, they will also apply themselves to becoming excellent at sales or whatever it is that you're hiring them for. But this all is sort of off topic, but it isn't, because it relates back to this concept of adding to your winners and cutting your losers. Winners in life tend to keep winning and losers in life tend to keep losing, right? Because the inputs of the winner lead to results and the inputs of the loser don't lead to results, right? And also in markets, you get rich from home runs, right? You're going to make 90% of your wealth from a couple investments, from a couple home runs that you just absolutely smashed. Like if you look at all the guys who made 8 figures, it was a couple coins that got them there. It was never like, oh, I bought 20 coins and I hit 8 figures. No, it's like, yeah, I had a really big conviction on Ethereum at like $10 and I got the ICO. That's how I got 8 figures, right? Home run. Compounded their winners, right? Ethereum ICO, they got in. Ethereum launched, it went 10x, accumulated in the $10 region. They bought even more Ethereum. They rode that shit to 5K. Now they're worth multi 8 figures, right? That's sort of an example there of how you would compound your winners. So in markets, if you're, let's say, doing the opposite, cutting your winners and adding to your losers, then you're breaking this fundamental concept of home runs. And we talk about this in another section of the course, but you're breaking the fundamental law of making money in crypto, which is, and markets in general, which is, you sold your home run. You sold the winner, so you sold half of your home run or all of your home run, which was a terrible idea. And also, winners don't let you get good entries. So you need to let them ride, because once you're in, if you hop off, it's very hard to get back on. I think I visually drew this here. So this is a visual representation of what adding to your winners looks like. So the idea is that you buy a really good position, it goes up, you really think this thing's a winner because it's been outperforming the rest of your coins in your portfolio. You don't buy it up here, obviously, but you wait for, a retracement. This thing's undervalued again. You add more to your winner because you've built stronger conviction. You've read more into it. It's above your original entry, but it's still a good region. Boom, it goes up again. Wow, okay, I can tell this thing's going to go parabolic. It's a big announcement's going to come out. Let me add more. Boom, you got rich as fuck. That is the process of adding to your winners. And I think I was trying to make another point here too. Yeah, when it's a winning position, Like, let's say the price is going up, right? Price is going up. You sell here to try to buy back lower, or, you just want to sell your winner, right? And then this thing keeps going up, and now you're thinking, oh, fuck, I sold. How do I buy back in? This thing is not going to give you an easy entry, my friend. It might go down, and then let's say, here's a support level. It might go down, and then it might not even get down to that buy region because it's such a winning coin. It's such a strong coin, right? If this coin was a loser, it would probably do something more like this, right? But if it's a winner, it's not going to let you get an easy entry because everyone wants it because it's a strong coin. So if you lose your position early in a bull run on a winning coin because you're an idiot, it's not going to get you a re-entry. And this is what happens with, if you look at Solana, for example, what has happened recently. Tons of people with Solana have been, I took a little bit of profits at this region here, a tiny bit, but tons of people are selling a bunch of their Solana and they're trying to buy back in, and they just don't get a re-entry. Solana is barely moving down, right? It doesn't give you a lot of time to get in. When Solana rallies, it fucking moves, and it does not wait for anyone, right? So that's something else to keep in mind too. And also, where are we? There's a huge opportunity cost to owning underperforming coins, as for every 1% they go up, the winners rise 3%. So a lot of you watching this, and people in general, have really shitty portfolios made up of things like Ripple. And obviously Ripple goes up in a bull market. You can see it's gone up. But for every 1% Ripple goes up in a bull run, the new coins, which are the winners, end up going up 3%. So, there's actually a really bad mindset flaw, which I'll tell you about, that people make when it comes to selling losing positions. So people will own Ripple and they'll have bought it, let's say at a $1.40. And they'll go, oh, I can't sell this thing. It's at 60 cents. I'll wait for the price to go up to my entry and then I'll sell so that I haven't lost any money.